happening, my rays of sunshine? I am back, but today you already know we're gonna be talking about, if you can see in the title, I think I wanted to do another one of these only because it's still super vital. I'm still learning new stuff about it every single day, and like regardless of it being a scar, like it's something that's really helping people, and the information that's going out about narcissism, recovery, empaths, all that, it's super, super helpful. Like it's a whole community of us getting hurt out here. So let me just put you guys on some game about what to look out for and why we fall for the narcissist. Disclaimer though, I am not a professional. I am not degreed in this, but being a person that has gone through it for a very, very long time, well, let's say a year and a half, it's almost like I was my own case study. I didn't know it at the time, but now I know, and I can look back at how I felt. I can look from the inside perspective, but I can also look at it from the outside perspective. And I feel like that's something that even going to school doesn't teach you. Like in class, when they just go over what narcissism is, they don't go in depth, like really in depth about the damage psychologically, emotionally, spiritually that these people put their partners through intentionally. I just want to put you guys on some game about why you fell for the narcissist, why I fell for the narcissist, but I'm going to use myself as, let's just say, the main example. And 9 times out of 10, most of these people are exactly the same. Like I say, like it's a different body, same spirit. Like they are so textbook, whether malignant or covert, whether they're a 9, whether they're a 7, like it's usually these main things that you see in the beginning. I'm not saying that these are all of what they do, but this is the main things, especially in the beginning, that you can look out for. Sorry, I had to move because it was getting a little bit loud in my house, so I just wanted to move more away from the door. But yeah, let's get started. So a lot of the signs that you're going to see within these narcissists is, first off, them being super clingy, like off the jump. Like you're texting them, they're sending you long paragraphs, really talking about nothing but overly admiring you, even though they don't really know who you are, which is a red flag. Moving way too fast, you know, and you can tell when it's like genuine and when it's just like, okay, I'm just trying to gas this person up so that they can like me, or that they can fall for me, or that they can feel obligated towards me. Another one is a sob story. They will tell a sob story right off the jump. And I'm just going to talk about guy narcissists, because that's all I have to go off of. I really don't know what it's like when females are narcissists. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, but it's harder for me to spot. But sob stories, for real, they're like the main thing they use. And this is what clings us girls, because we feel bad. We're like, oh man, like he's really trying this and that. Like, man, mine, I'm going to stop saying mine. The narcissist that I experienced, he cried on our first date to me about everything that was going on within his family. And I want to say maybe 70% of it was true, but then that 30% lie kind of just exaggerated the whole thing, and he just string it on all the relationship. You know what I mean? Because as soon as things started to get better, I was like, okay, things are getting better, so why are you still like this? Like usually it's like, oh, everybody goes through something, this and that. Like I don't even use that as an excuse anymore. So if you are going through something, guys will not play the victim. That is what I've noticed. They will not want to be seen. Real men don't want to be seen as a victim or pitied, or like, I mean, it's okay if they become vulnerable to their girl that they've been with for a while. But off the jump, if he just met you and he's telling you all this stuff that's going on with his life, like usually guys are like, oh, I'm dealing with something, and then they leave it at that. But they don't go into like crying and like telling you every little thing. That's to grab you emotionally, because they know that we're not going to be like, oh, well, too bad. Like Girls aren't like that. They know exactly what strings to pull to get us to be compassionate, considerate to them, disregarding our own feelings or whatever we're going through, not even realizing that the whole time they're talking about themselves and you never really get a word in about what's going on in your life, nor do they feel the need to ask. They claim in however long they've been talking to you and telling them about your situation that you're healing their wounds. And how is that possible? How can you heal their wounds just kind of like just by listening to them? Like, that's something that nobody else can do except yourself. Like, you do that inner work. Sure, someone can help give you hope, but as far as healing their wounds for them, no human can do that. That's a you job and that's a God job. But like, another person cannot heal what's trauma in you. You know what I mean? So for them, it's like they know that supply, love, especially empathetic supply. We have this, oh, I need to go save this person mentality because we like to help people, because we can feel people's feelings and energy and emotions, and we want to help. But they know that. They can smell it. They can sense it. So they're like, let me use her superpower to her advantage, to my advantage, and make her feel sorry for me. And this is how I'm going to get it. I really don't want to get into their mentality because I don't want to know that distortive kind of thinking. And I don't want to even share that kind of distorted kind of mentality. But what I want to focus on is what they do with that distorted mentality that they have, which really, it's very deceitful and it's very clever in an evil way. So all these tactics that they use, they're putting you on an unrealistic pedestal, because if they put you up, where are you going to go from there in the relationship? Then they're going to devalue you. And that's what we're going to go in next. But the last two things that I also see guys do, the narcissistic guys doing, is always comparing the current supply to the last supply. And 9 or even 10 times out of 10, they are telling you what they did to the person and just switching the name. Oh, she did this, she did that. Or they'll take a bad situation that actually happened, that they caused, and then make it seem like that person just did it for no reason. The police got involved. And I don't even want to know how he's twisting that story to people. And if anybody who does know who I'm talking about and knows me, I don't even want to know what that story is. And you know me, so you know that yes, something with the police did happen, but it's definitely not what he's saying happened. Because they're liars. They just want to gain people's sympathy, but they don't want to give sympathy to other people. They want to gain people's trust, but they don't trust other people. They want to have the sense of entitlement, but they don't want to work for it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it does, but then it doesn't. It's just super, super irritating. But like, they just talk mad crap about the ex, and whether you ask or not. And then all those tactics of gaslighting, whining and dining, affection and all that, is to blind you from what they really are, for one. But it all goes downhill from there. It switches. So instead of being super clingy, now they can go hours without texting you, without explanation. And don't you dare try to question why or where they were. Like, even if you're like, oh, so what were you doing? Chilling. Or like in a chill tone, and they'll go off the handle. And they'll go from the sob story to making that sob story the justification for all of their bad behavior. All of their bad behavior. Even if their current situation is no longer as bad as it was, they'll be like, oh, well, you know I was abused. Oh, well, you know what I've been through. Or you know I wasn't allowed to do that. Like, it is not my job to be your emotional punching bag. I'm not about to just let you talk to me any kind of way anymore, because clearly if I was in a relationship, I let him get away with so much stuff. And I'm saying bad stuff. But that, oh my God. The victim feels it. They definitely feel like, why did I let that person do that to me? And it was all because they use the manipulation tactics to get us to fall in love with them, or what we thought was love, and then just be infatuated with them, and then just be stuck. And then years and years go by, and you're like, how did I even get in this predicament? Here's what happened with me. The narcissist that I was experiencing didn't have a car, didn't have a license, didn't have his own place, he wasn't going to school, and I think the only thing he had going was having a job. But for me, a person that grew up very privileged, have a car, have a degree, have all external stuff is irrelevant. Because of how I love, because I don't care about the materialistic stuff, that is why I fell for the fact that he was fulfilling my love languages, which was affection and words of affirmation. Granted, I was 19, so the fact that I am 23 now, and it's like a lot of my standards have changed because of that, but like, we don't really know who we are at 19. I was just about to go to university and I met this person. I just got to experience all the stuff I didn't get to experience in high school. I'm grateful for that fake part, but the damage that was done, so not worth it. Do I regret anything? No. But the little that they put in the beginning does not even suffice to the amount of work that you're going to have to put in just to heal being with them. It doesn't matter how long you're with them. They can do a lot of damage in a short period of time, but for me, it just so happened to be almost 2 years, which took almost 2 years to heal. But it's just a very, very horrible thing that they do. And then, just to go back, I know I sidetracked a little. They flip being infatuated with you with being irritated with you, with being bored of you. The compliments decrease, and so do the paragraphs. And this is the part where we start working for their love. Hearing compliments all the time, we stop hearing it. We start fishing for compliments because that's what they used to give us. It's kind of like they give us the whole cookie in the beginning, and then the rest of the relationships, they're just breaking the cookie off, giving you crumbs, breaking it off, giving you crumbs, until it's just an empty hand. And you're just like, what kind of relationship am I even in? At the end, by the end of gaslighting you, making you feel like you're the best, and then start to devalue you, and then you realize, like, I'm not even who I am anymore. I'm not even who I used to be. I don't even know if I want to marry this person anymore, because you know they're still bringing that up on top of like doing things that make you want to leave. But then they're saying, oh no, but I love you, and start crying, and then start saying they're going to change and this and that. It's just a cycle. It's just a cycle, and it's like a drug. It's actually a chemical in your brain that goes off. I'm not going to get all scientific because I don't want to be butchered for terminology and stuff like that, but there is something in your brain that they jack up. It makes it seem like it's okay that everything that they're doing, every single thing that they're saying to us, it's like, oh, it's not that big a deal. We just get an autopilot of making justification for them, walking on eggshells and becoming weak. When you're out the picture, your name is going to be the one that's talked to the next apply. And that's just how the cycle goes for the rest of their life. They're their own karma. And karma and reaping what you sow, I feel like those are the exact same thing. So really, they're reaping destruction because they're not reaping anything good. They're not they're not sowing anything good. They're not sowing anything righteous or genuine. It's just games, and more games. And I'm not talking about the fun kind. I'm talking about the freaking jigsaw. And I can laugh at it now because it's like, I'm better. I'm a better me now out of that situation than I was before. And I thought I was A1 before, but now it's like, man, get at me now. Try to come at me with that stuff now and see how fast I ghost you. It's not even the fact of being mad. I don't hate him. I actually feel sorry for him a lot. Hate takes a lot of energy, just like the love that he sucked out of me did. Or I allowed him to suck out of me. Like, accountability takes a part too. It's my decision to stay that long, but it's like I was manipulated into not leaving. So it's a give and take, you know what I mean? So accountability is definitely a vital part in the healing process. It's not all a blame game. and it's not all bad. The fact that it happened, I'm so in tune with my emotions. I'm so more in control of it. I can smell a narcissist, basically. My friends will bring me, oh, this guy does this, he does this. Now, do I think everybody's a narcissist? Absolutely not. I know how to decipher that, you know? Does that mean that I can't get it wrong again? It's possible. But the chances of that happening, very, very slim now. I want to say that narcissism is so much more than psychological. But let's just say the psychological view is so much more than him being full of himself. Manipulation is actually their lifestyle, the way of survival for them. It's a mindset that is dang near impossible to change unless they want to, and they don't. There really are some, and I commend those people who do. The spiritual view of this, they are not led by God. And even if they pose like he's an angel and stuff, the devil gets a 2-for-1 special on the narcissist. And I got that from Queen T on NPD. I'll put her link below. But the devil really does get a 2-for-1 special. One, because the devil is using the narcissist, stealing, killing, and destroying. Stealing your joy, money, mental innocence of humanity. They kill your soul and your will to live even. And sometimes they even do physically kill you. But I feel like most of the time that's not the case, like Ted Bundy stuff. But they also destroy your ability to trust and your awareness of yourself. I was 19 and everything my parents had taught me had gone out the window just for this person. And that's scary. That was also on me for not setting boundaries, sticking to my guns and my values, and like just allowing so much of it. But I've forgiven myself. That's also a vital part in the healing process, is forgiving yourself. Look, I did that, but try doing that again. You're gonna keep getting taught the same lesson if you don't do the work to heal, especially if you're jumping from relationship to relationship. Cut it. And it's like, they manipulate you for what? To get what from the devil, or to get what in return? The devil will not come through for them in the end, the way that they don't come through for us at the end. The devil's feeding them empty promises just like they're feeding us empty promises. But worse, because there's souls involved. Us, we were naively and beautifully loving these people that we thought needed help, support, comfort. And I want every person that deals with a narcissist to accept the fact that it was not the fact that you were trying to love and help this person. After experiencing narcissists, they help you love smarter. They help you love with boundaries, because love with no boundaries is super dangerous. Super dangerous. Like, that could have been the death of me, not a figure of speech. They intentionally are intertwined with the devil and they don't care. In the past, my narc literally put in one of his captions after we broke up something like, if the devil asks you to dance, you better say never, because a dance with him may last forever. If you don't think this is a spiritual awakening, that evil exists and that they're prancing around like, I'm evil, I don't care, like, and people think that just because they don't deal with narcissists, that we're exaggerating about how these people are. I don't wish that you experience it, but don't invalidate somebody else's experience with it. I just consider him a awakening to my naive mentality, that there's a good in everybody. That's very nice and all, but also very dangerous. It's very risky, because some people, especially now in the last days, are just blatantly evil and can smile at it. Can kill people and not feel nothing. Can hurt people and not feel anything, no type of remorse. Every empath that goes through a narc experience like this turns into a super empath that learns how to use their ability way better than they knew before. Some even came into the realization that they were empaths by going through a narcissistic abusive relationship. And it's not just your partner either. It could be your parent, it could be your kid, but the partners, they awaken a different kind of realization in you, because you're loving them by choice. You weren't born into this person's life. You weren't forced, and you actually do have a chance to escape. Going through him, I kind of skipped from like chapter 5 to chapter 10 just by doing the inner work. I didn't have to go to another person and learn a different lesson. I went through it with one person, and I have a entirely different mindset because of it, thanks to God. But it takes work. Narcissism is a pandemic in itself. Gender doesn't matter, age doesn't matter, church doesn't matter, position in the church doesn't matter. We have narcissistic traits, like I said before, but anybody can be this kind of dangerous narcissist. So don't think that just because their title or because you think that you know them that they can't be, because they are master mimickers, master manipulators, professional posers. I could go on. But if you haven't been through it, consider yourself blessed that you haven't, because maybe you don't even need to. Stick to your boundaries. That's why people say like this whole self-love thing, to an extent, the right way, having a relationship with God and having boundaries, they're so important. People don't just say that just to say it. Like, it's to avoid these kind of situations. If you do go through this situation, it's because you were meant to, and it's because it was supposed to make you a stronger person. We weren't never meant to be a person with no boundaries, a person that's weak, a person that's controlled. The death of me in that relationship is why I am reborn into the Raven that I am today, and that I'm super proud of, and that is continuously growing freely. I'm rooting for everybody's healing, my own included, because the more videos that are made exposing the tactics that these narcissists have, the more exposed that they are, and the more you can spot it, the quicker you can spot it, and the more you can help other people spot it. I won't lie though and say that they are definitely accessible to these kind of videos. So of course they're going to know what to do and what not to do, and they're going to know what to mimic. They're going to eventually evolve into knowing what an empath is and try to play off like they are one. But here's what they cannot do. They can't mimic the energy. They can mimic the action, but they cannot mimic the energy. So use your intuition, your empathetic power to your advantage. It's your superpower. You were blessed with it. Being an empath comes from something more than just physical. And that's all they know how to manipulate is the physical. God does not allow them to touch the spiritual part. If you feel like something's up, it probably is. Don't explore what it is. Just trust it and cut it off. They can't mask spirit. So I'm done. Use your power. Be great out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I'm my happiest. I thought I was my happiest before him. I'm my happiest now. Because I feel indestructible. I feel like if I could go through him, I could deal with any kind of person. If you can survive that, you can survive anything. And if you have, I hope you know that you're dope. I hope you know that you're great. There are other people out there rooting for you, and that we've all gone through the same thing, so you are not alone. But you know the vibes. Hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys later.